anyway, so what we'll do is we'll try and get into the next game. So all the other games have started to some point, but we are trying to get into the reality versus WYP. We'll just see if we can get the draft link from that. It will have already started, unfortunately, but a game is better than a no game.
Exactly. Let's get in that action.
Alright, so just bear. Alright, that should be easy. Sorry, just checking who the players were on those teams.
He jumped straight into things without having a break. Good learning experience. What a time to be alive.
Breaks
from a different region.
I'll rest when the stream's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't be complacent.
Alright, so there we go. So we've been whispered the draft link. So apologise, they may be already through it. At least we can see the heroes and see what their thoughts are. You guys probably want it in the thing there. Alright, so we are on. So it's a round 2 game. It's a Blackhearts Bay. Is the map that is being played on at the moment in this quarterfinal in the upper brackets. And it looks like Reality picking up, go live so everyone can see it. There we go, it's picked up Tyrael, Greymane, Tychus, Brightwing, and ETC coming up against WYP's combination of Muradin, Lunara, Rhaegar, Sonya, and Sylvanas on Blackhearts Bay.
There's some good drafting there on both teams. Both very strong sort of AoE and very objective focus and skirmish focus. But I think what might make the difference could be that Sylvanas pick. Because if she gets that black arrow off, encounters the ETC Brightwing, they're literally all sitting ducks for a few seconds, and then WYP, the rest of them can sort of just get in there.
Yeah, I think, WYP, their team comp is quite interesting, just because Lunara's been seeing a lot more play. I quite like the Tychus pick, but usually you see Tychus more so with a much more tanky front line, because he can mount through big pools of health quite quickly. But of course he can be quite effective against Lunara as well, with the frag grenade. It has quite a lot of range, and it burns through a lot of HP as well, so pretty interesting stuff. At the moment, I'm really liking WYP's comp, I have to say. I'm just really a big fan of Lunara. We've seen a lot of players in the ANZ region play it real well, as a matter of fact, as well. In a couple of series that me and Skinny have done. So, yeah, my money would have to be on WYP at the start of this thing, but I'm going to have to keep watching.
Yeah, my only trouble there with their draft is that we do see... Reality, they picked up the Greymane, can be very punishing, diving it to Lunara. Tyke has been picked up. Muradin and Sonya can get shredded from that. So it's so just looking at just those two, Greymane and Tychus, they're really good counters against their big effective DPS Lunara and their 2 tanks, Sonya and Muradin. And then you've got the Brightwing to prevent the Sonya diving in, ETC for the mosh pit. Muradin can sort of cancel it. And then you sort of got Sylvanas. So if they can really punish the Sylvanas, the mosh pit's kind of got free range. And then you've got Tyrael. Any big plays that WYP does make, Tyrael can drop the Sanctification and effectively cancel it out. In fact, looking at it, Tyrael might go, hey, I might just take Judgment and jump on Lunara or Sylvanas. There's no reason in this lineup why he has to actually take Sanctification. It's a safer play, it's the smarter thing, but hey, we could see a Judgment just to really punish that Lunara.
We could, and it'd effectively zone her out of those fights going forward.
And, 100%. So I really like Reality's draft. I think YWP, they've got a nicer draft for the map, but Reality have a nicer draft against their lineup.
Yeah, I think just as closing thoughts, really, you said quite a few things. Reality have a comp that's really looking to try and control and just use a lot of burst damage, whereas WYP have a lot more sustained damage, like Lunara comps tend to do. If the game lasts, the skirmishes last a while, then you've got Sonya, you've got Sylvanas, people that can do a fair chunk of damage over a sustained period. So if there's lots of sort of skirmishes around a boss pit, perhaps, or a chest or a hand in, expect to see WYP make things happen, but otherwise, Reality have a lot of engaged tools and really relying on Brightwing to, control somebody and find that kill straight from the offset.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I'm going with Reality on this one. I think they've got the stronger draft against WYP. But hey, this is Blackheart's Bay. You don't fight on Blackheart's Bay. You just play to the objective, collect the coins, shoot from afar. You don't actually have to advance into the enemy's base to actually win the game.
Control the turning, control the boss.
So I'll pass it back to you as we go into this next game.
Cheers, guys.
Alright, so this is Reality versus WYP playing on a Blackheart's Bay. It is the Season 3 Qualifier 1 for the ANZ region. This is the first game in a Round 2 match for these teams. And we are almost in a Blackheart's Bay. Let's get this going. On the blue side for Reality, we have Katori playing on Brightwing. We then have Vanilla on a Greymane, Icebolt on ETC, Hack is playing as Tyrael, and John is Tychus.
And on the red team, we've got Altai, on Sylvanas, Sheshi on Lunara, Taran on Rhaegar, Fukul on Muradin, and Spazzo on Sonya. You left me with the hard names. Those are some good names there. Whew, I might shorten them when we're casting, just for ease. But a couple of familiar faces in this game as well. Katori is sort of touched on by Skimmy. Long-term player, Hack, Icebolt, they've all been around the scene for a while. So a couple of familiar faces here, as well as some new faces, which is really exciting to see. And looks like there's a fight breaking out on the vision point already. The stun goes down, except Muradin gets taken out. Hack now, concentrating on Spazzo. Spazzo also falls, and they're still pursuing.
Wow, that is... Now, normally early on in the match, it's not that sort of detrimental to lose, a sort of hero or two. But in this situation, there's no one that can rotate down to the bottom lane now to soak any experience. See Brightwing, for Reality, already going to do that. The other team, they might lose out a bit of experience, and that is huge to lose 2 heroes on Blackheart's Bay that early. We also have the chest that will spawn pretty much soon, and just not being in a good position to respond to that. Having said that, Reality weren't quite in a good position to respond to the top chest, but it doesn't matter because it's actually gone in for a kill. Another early kill up against the Rhaegar. That's just really starting to dominate this game so far against WYP. And that's what I said, they've just got so much more engaged potential here on Reality. And I think we're going to see a lot of just what they've done then. So go in, section off that one hero, and then back out.
Oh, exactly. And just speaking of talents, once you pick up Even in Death, we said it's becoming a more common choice, and we can see why when we saw the last game that we casted as well. Sorry, that was casted. We saw Tyrael using Even in Death to do so much damage. Even when he gets taken out, you just got to be wary because it could just pick you up, and then next thing you know, you're dead.
Yeah,
It looks like Spazzo getting picked up down in the bottom lane.
Oh, no.
Corey and John. Just nothing you can do there. Tychus, as we know, is a tank shredder. And John just put down the damage, finished him off with the grenade, and bang. Once again, more experience being lost. This is a bit of a worry now. So, as we said, those early game kills shouldn't mean too much, but if it's constantly happening, now we're seeing a level advantage to the blue team.
Yeah, it's the loss of experience which is the biggest problem with these early hero kills. Now, Muradin has rotated down to the bottom, so that's a good play, good awareness of what's going on. But now Muradin's left. He's not in the top lane. There's no one to protect this line. And look at Lunara just get blown up again. The blue team, we see Reality just going in there and just picking off players. And that's because Muradin decided to rotate down. Don't know if he was the best hero to choose in that situation. Because he wasn't. He wasn't there to protect the top line, and they're sort of getting punished for that now.
Looks like they just want someone to be able to soak safely, but then it's at the detrimental of the team. Sonya did manage to pick up the mercenary camp, which should help sort of alleviate I guess, some of the pressure that they're facing, and they're making sure that they're picking up the coins for the objective, as we know. We might see a turn in. It looks like Reality are trying to do the first turn in here, as they have more than enough coins to make the turn in. But Lunara is sending out her little wisp to scout. I don't think they're going to react here. I think they'll wait for the second batch of turn, then we might see a fight, but they just really want to recoup that experience now.
Yeah, Rhaegar getting taken out. So this game is just really being pushed in the favour of Reality now. They're almost at a 2-level lead, which means they are going to hit talent earlier. They're the earlier talent, so it's not detrimental, but I mean, we're just seeing the experience difference. They're going to be in a talent lead. They're probably going to hit level 10 first. They're about to get a hand in. Reality are just so dominating in this game so far.
Well, I think it's smart as well by the red team, though. They just don't want to fight until they sort of at least catch up on experience. They just know that they've got to take it back a bit, stall it out, get that experience happening, and then they can sort of pick their fights better. First turn in, not so bad, but it is going to help. Reality hit their heroic level 10 talent much, much quicker, and that's what the red team has to keep in mind and be worried about, because once they hit 10, they're going to be forcing those fights, and the aggression level will just be heightened.
Hey, look at this. In the bottom lane now, we do see Reality. There are 4 members. I mean, we could see WYP do something here, but they're just sort of not responding, not pushing out to their lanes. In fact, Muradin's
Iceball Vanilla,
been
they just took out Muradin. They didn't care because they've got such a strong push. They've got 4 members of the team down there, as well as being backed by the Siege Mercenary camp. I mean, the first sort of fort has already fallen. I'm not sure they might even want to try push on to the keep. It'll be interesting to see, because we've got no one on the red side sort of rotating down yet. Only Hack just holding the top lane, just soaking up, keeping all the members of the team busy. But look at that bot lane, it's still going down there.
It's
now they're rotating up.
Yeah. There's no proper rotations coming out of WYP at the moment. And Sonya actually getting taken off there as well in the mid lane.
Completely blown up, completely caught off by the rotations. That was unfortunate to see. Spazzy should have expected it. Once you see no one else in the bot lane after that big push, you just know that they're either going to be rotating up to their single team member Hack. So, well, she just got caught out there. Maybe she just didn't see. And a huge chunk of their coins lost. We've got 19 coins to Reality. So
yeah, they're going to be able to get a second hand in now. Reality, they can really start pushing this lead even further into their favour.
They've picked up level 10 talents as well, Disco. So WYP is really going to be suffering here now. Yeah, 3-level disparity.
Yeah, we've seen Emerald Wind on Brightwing, Greymane going for the throat, a Mosh Pit on ETC, of course. And then we also have the Draken Laser Drill for Tychus, and Sanctification is coming out for Tyrael. I think, what is WYP's play here? They're 2 levels down, they've got more cannons firing up, they're poising in this top lane, they've just lost Sonya again somewhere on the map while this action was going on, probably the bottom lane.
Down in the bot lane, she got caught out once again. She can't push by herself. See, they don't really have, I guess, safe champions that can sort of push on their own. Yes, Sylvanas should be, in theory, able to, but you see that Reality aren't letting her do that because they don't want her to do that. They don't want them to catch up. They're just trying to expand their lead, and that's why they keep seeing who's left out on the map. Oh, Sonya, she's pushing on her own. She doesn't really have the most reliable of escapes. All right, let's get her. So, I mean, they just really got to, I guess if I was in YWP, I'd just try to slow it down, to stall it out, just wait for, I guess, all the camps and the little minions to sort of come to me instead of seeking out team fights, and make sure that you've got a buddy, I guess. They have to play with the buddy system now, otherwise we're going to see more of just what happened to the poor Sonya, what happened to Spazzo happening, just being picked out.
Right, so they've just got to position, they've just got to stick a little together.
Disco.
Alright, so the big push here coming from Reality. Like, they've got the Siege Giants here now. They can push into this. How does WYP defend it? They don't have the heroics up. They're going to have to just sit really tight behind that wall, not go too far. Lunara went out across the gate. Bad move there. Gate has fallen. Does manage to get away, but oh, that could have been a big pick off there. You saw an Ice Bolt on the ETC. Just slide in and just miss falling up with any more damage. And Autolize in a lot of trouble here. Taken off there. Dear. They're just being a little bit too far forward now. This is looking disastrous right now for the WYP guys.
4-level disparity in the first keep has fallen. I guess if I was in YWP's sort of point and I was so close to 10, just 1 level off, I would have sent somebody to either the mid or the top lane and sent 4 members to sort of defend and hopefully get level 10 so that they could fight back, because without it, honestly, they don't stand a fighting chance. And I mean, they're just being run ragged while we've got reality just constantly bombing them. As you said, you don't even need to win the skirmishes in this game. You just need to make sure that you're handing in the objectives. And I think we might see a boss play coming out soon as well. Disco, what do you think?
I don't know, I think it's going to be pretty dangerous because at the moment there's nothing else on the map to sort of distract reality. Like, let's say if WYP went for it, they'd have to, well, there's no distraction. Reality will go, gee, wonder where they are. The only thing that's available is the boss. So, and that, they rotated right up. They saw them take the vision point, so they know they're there. Ultra Eyes on Sylvanas is getting picked off again, sectioned out, and just taken out. And this is just the powerhouse of reality right now, especially with that 4-level deposit.
I think that's why they want to force them to come check boss. They want to, because if they catch them without any sort of fortifications, they'll just easily win a fight. And now with Sylvanas down, it's unfortunate. Once again, another team member down. So it's really, we need to see sort of YWP sort of scramble, get their act together, just sort of regroup, focus up. And I'm not sure why the Muradin here isn't taking the bruiser camp.
I like this play. So they're using this. They're going to wait for the bruisers to sort of when the boss gets a bit closer, and use it as kind of like a bit of a buffer. Now there's more minions around, more objects for the blue team to actually hit upon or like miss skill shots and things like that. So I do like that conceptually. But, I mean, I don't really think they're getting any value out of it because the rest of the team's not there, not really responding. They were off.
I was just worried about the bait for them. I was more worried that they just get caught out and then it's not somewhere you want to be. And once again, Lunara, nothing she could do there. She just got instantly demolished. The polymorph went down. She just got grasped by the boss. She accidentally didn't see the circle from the boss and the boss just rooted her in place. Brightwing hit the poly and boom, she was gone. She just blew up there. And Kotori with the Emerald win. ETC, Icebolt's ult instantly got cancelled, but it doesn't matter because they're still pressuring down. It looks like Turan's going to fall. And Muradin's still alive, but I don't know. I think they might go for an end push here, Disco.
They're in a position where they could at least pressure the core. Not necessarily win, maybe try and force another team fight. The safer play is to back out, but they've got a 5-level advantage. I mean, that is quite huge. 5 levels, 2. It's 5 levels, 2 talents.
2 talents now, yeah.
And I'm just not sure, and I'm not sure what position WYP can take to get back into this game. I mean, they've got to get a pick, right? Like, this right now might be a good opportunity if they were aware, if they knew what's going on. They've got to start getting some more map awareness, and the only person that can really do that for them is Lunara. She can drop her, obviously, her little wisp to give them some presence. I don't see it anywhere on the map at the moment. So I think they're really missing out on a lot of map awareness from just in the right location. Near the hand-in point, near that sort of gas cloud, the vent. Like, look at Icebolt goes in, sectioning off there. Such a dangerous play. They should have known that they were in the vicinity because of the cannonball hand-in, and they're just getting punished. I know they're not even caring about the Rhaegar in the bottom lane. They're just pushing in. They're about to get the last keep. 3 keeps down. A couple of big kills here, and that's it. I mean, the sanctification was dropped. They're right on the core. The core's at 50%. I think we're going to see a very early victory here to reality.
I agree. They were just running out of time. And with the cannonballs finishing it off, so they knew that they had the final turn in there because the middle keep was quite low, and then they just went for it, forced the fight, focused on core. Game went to there, so the GG went out. And first game goes to the blue team, Reality. I mean, so what's your post-game analysis on this one, Disco? What went wrong? What happened? Take us through it.
They just look. It's spelled the game was in the game was in disaster. Right at the start, we saw a lot of missed experience soak coming out for the for a WYP. A lot of heroes dying very early, getting caught out of position. If you're in a lane and you can't win the lane, the best thing you can do is just sit behind your wall and soak experience. Like, there's no point in going out and dying because then there's no experience being lost. It's not the death of the hero early on that is detrimental. It's the experience that they no longer gain. And reality just from there just snowballed it. In each direction, got coins, got hand-ins. What else do you say? They're just that was it.
And back to you, Skimmy and Starving. Did you have a look? Can you please chip in with your post-game analysis for us as well?
I mean, I'll just kick it off. First thing I noticed was the fact they had like a 3-level lead at like 4 minutes into the game. I thought even then, you're feeling pretty tilted off the set of that. Then the fact that they got a 4-level lead and they keep sub 10 minutes, their game is pretty much going on one direction. It's really up to you as a team yourself to throw it away to lose.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of the map choice as well, I mean, it's one of those games, or one of those maps, where the snowbally sort of style can actually have a lot more of a noticeable effect. Whereas other games, I feel like, other maps, you can actually come back into it after actually losing to such a disadvantage, So, I think they let them run away with a win, and this is just the sort of map where you don't want that to happen. You can't really come back in Black Hearts Bay. It's a bit too difficult. So, they played it real well, but, the other team played it better.
Yeah, exactly. Well said. The other team just played it better. And, I mean, it is a best of 3, so they can react to that. They know that they got caught out quite a couple of times, so I think in the next game we'd see that they'd really make sure that they're aware of where the enemy team is at all times and just making sure that they just don't keep getting picked off. Because, as we see, it happens once or twice. All right, you come back from that. If it keeps happening, the snowball just starts happening. And that's when you're just like, oh, gosh, we're in a bit of trouble here.
Well, I mean, I believe we'll be jumping into the next game soon. Looks like there's a bit of dance going back and forth there, so we're just trying to figure out what's going on, but Disco will kick it back there.
It's the best of 3. Now, I really like the reality here, looking like they're going to pick up a really strong split, like lane push or a split push, because they've removed Falstad from the mix. They don't want him in the game. They don't want him changing lanes and coming down and pressuring maybe their Sylvanas pick, if that's the route they go, or maybe whoever their sort of split lane push will be. What are your thoughts, Vandy, so far?
I mean, I'm seeing reality. They're picking once again the champs they're comfortable with. Same faces, Tyrael, Greymane, Tychus. Exactly what they rolled with last time. They're like, hey, we rolled with this. If it ain't broke, why fix it?
Yep.
And I think we're seeing WYP now. They're changing theirs up a bit. So they're going with, ETC. They're going with Li Ming, which I think if she takes Wave of Force, it can really help control the aggression of the team fights. So I'm quite liking that. And I hope it'll allow them to control the team fights brought to reality from them a bit better. As well as she's quite safe. She can teleport away. She has an escape tool. And same with ETC. He's safe. He's got power slide. He's got an escape tool. So if they are split pushing like they were last game, hopefully this time they won't get caught out. Is I think what the plan here is. So they're just addressing, I guess, what they found a little bit weak in their draft last game, and just sort of better addressing it now that they've had their first match against reality. And we're seeing a Rhaegar ban here. Ooh, that's pretty good, I think. I mean, it sort of just puts it on reality now. I guess who's their support going to be to round out the team?
Yeah, it does weaken reality's choice here, because obviously we'll see WYP get the next hero selection, so they probably will pick up their support in that, because they don't want to strangle themselves out. Now, I like reality's follow-up pick here. They've gone, well, Rhaegar's gone. Who else is on the board? We'll remove Uther. You're obviously looking for some sort of Divine Shield combo onto one of your assassins, maybe onto Mosh Pits to guarantee that they're going to go off. So we'll ban him out. But it's weakening the pool even further for reality as well. YWP, whoever they pick, reality can't pick that support. Again, the pool's getting weakened. But reality's probably picking up Brightwing. They picked him up last time in this composition, so why not do it again?
Why not do it again? Exactly what I said. And Brightwing's Polymorph, oh my goodness, combine the two, would be quite good against the ETC, as well as even Li Ming. Just, as you said, pick one target, polymorph them, everyone just fall upon them. But YWP, there you go, taking away the Brightwing pick from reality. I think that was quite cleverly done.
Well, see, this is the trouble. They've had to use a pick to act as a counter pick, or as denial pick. Is that a smart play, or has it pushed WYP in a direction they didn't want to go in before? I mean, we're looking at the other heroes on the supports on the board. Who do we have? Karazim, and then we also have Malfurion. So we're looking at the lower tier supporters now. Will Brightwing serve? Is Brightwing going to serve what their composition wants to bring?
It's going to be interesting because if Brightwing does take Emerald Wind, it could potentially work against Mosh Pit. So they will have to coordinate better, but I think it's a strong pick as long as they haven't just done it, as you said, as a counter pick, but they're confident in playing Brightwing. Yep. Lost Vikings, is that Is it actually Lost Vikings?
Well, it is the Lost Vikings icon, that is for sure.
I'm just like, what? That's very exciting. And Garden of Terror as well. I mean, if done right, this could be... We'll see the level deficit, I guess, go to reality if done right.
It potentially gives them the advantage in the soak. A Viking can jump in the Garden Terror, keeping 2 other Vikings on the field, and you have a Valor, Brightwing. You have the rest of your team, the full effect. While the Garden Terror is a powerful entity monster to have in your control, it does take away those hero options. If ETC jumps in it, he can't mosh pit inside the Garden Terror, can he? So that's one of the downsides of being in the Garden Terror. One of the upsides is that you're in a giant garden plant monster and you can just wreck buildings and wreck heroes. The trouble with the Lost Viking picks is I always feel that you need that they more keep you in the game. Like, you have to be an exceptional player to really get the full advantage. I mean, yes, you have a Viking each lane soaking. Reality just need to play, potentially play safe, stick a hero in each lane, and just be concerned about rotations. But I don't see anyone on WYP's list that I would be scared about rotating to me. Okay, the ETC Power Slide is a temp stun, but outside of that, they've got no other real hard CC to follow up on. So who are they really rotating onto? I'm not really confident in that Lost Vikings pick.
I don't know. Well, we've seen Reality also pick up Stitches and Tasta to finish their team off. I think they're quite strong. They've got a good frontliner now. The Tasta, like you said, he's a good support, but it just sort of means that they only have shields against burst damage, no healing per se. So it's really going to be, I guess, what we're going to see here. Which team's going to sort of, collapse on the other one faster in skirmishes, as long as no one's getting picked off in lanes. And like you said, with that Vikings, we're just going to have to see what happens. It's either going to make or break the game. Let's put it that way. It's either going to make or break the team.
I remember back in the day when I used to play, we would pick Vikings exclusively on this map, and it was almost like a free win. We'd say like, Viking, no one knows how to respond to it, so GG guys, we win. So
that's a great point.
But still, it carries a fair bit of weight on these big maps.
Like I said, the experience gain potentially is there, but I don't think look, this is their map. WYP have chosen Garden of Terror. They've chosen the Lost Vikings, right? They've got a plan. They've got something in place, and it's. And so they're here. They're here today to make their mark. And you know what? They win they win with this composition. They've made their mark. They go, when we play the map, our preference, our comfort, you guys are in big trouble. Don't disrespect us.
And any other following thoughts, Starving, on just the draft before you hop in game?
Oh, you don't need to ask Skimmy because he runs it through smooth. But to be honest, I'm just real interested in the old Stitches pick and followed up with the Tessida. I mean, this is kind of, I feel like they've just been like, supports are bad. We don't need those. We'll just toss a hook out, put a wall down, and get a kill and go home. So, it'll be interesting to see how Reality play it. In reality, though, supports are pretty good. So, I mean, it's just interesting to me.
So I didn't want to call Tessida a cruddy support, but he's a different type of support. You put it that way. He's a shielding kind. It's just really good at preventing burst.
Here we are.
Ooh,
this is
looks like
the
a game.
Garden of Terror. We do have Reality in blue. Icebolt is playing Stitches. Vanilla is on Greymane. Hack is on Tyrael. Kotori is playing Tassadar. And John is on Tychus.
And on the red side, we've got Ultalize on Brightwing, Sheshi on Valor, Tyran on the Lost Vikings, Fukel on Leeming, and Spazzo on ETC. Much easier this time around.
That's it. So you see the Vikings have already positioned themselves to sort of go across each lane now. Again, it's a position ready for that. So it does open up YWP to do some really nice rotations on the heroes and try and capture them. Well, enough damage. The big hook goes on to Valor already early in the game. She does back out, however. Very nice vault, but that was an awesome hook by Icebolt, and I think that's going to be one of our big playmakers of the game there. The Stitches hook just coming out so many times, capturing those heroes. To their advantage.
Like the Valor's... Oh, no, sorry, I just said it looked like the Valor's plan to go auto-attack build. I'm not sure if that's the right way to go against Reality, but I mean, if she takes Giant Killer, yes, because they've got such a strong front line, but I'm not sure if that's where she wants to be or how she wants to play this game. Just calling that out on something to watch for the rest of the game.
All right, Vikings already been taken out in the mid lane. A Balrog going a bit bye-bye, having a rest. He'll be back into it straight away, however. Top lane, Tassadar taken out. So the rotation is there with the body blocking if they get into the right position. It's good to see, and that's the plan I felt YWP was going for in this game. Those strong rotations, pulling off those heroes in the front lane. I'm impressed they got Tassadar. He's a hard cookie to crack, especially with all these sort of escapes and ways to keep himself alive. I'm impressed they managed to pick up the kill.
It's early days yet for Tassadar. He doesn't yet have his bag of tricks, so you'll see maybe that'll be the only death we see out of Tassadar. And Hack, unwhittling, going to that bush where sort of YWP was waiting for him. And it looks like he might fall. They just did a little bit more damage on him. And unfortunately, he just makes it out okay, but that was very dangerous, just sort of face-checking any sort of rush. I mean, we knew that the Garden Terror timer had already spawned saying that the seeds were going to be there, and he just went in there. He's just like, don't worry, I'm just going to try to take your seeds, and they were all there waiting for him. It was very risky play.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing that Reality really has to watch out for, and that's the composition here of YWP. In a nutshell, in a summary, is waiting in those bushes, doing those rotations, capturing those heroes out of place. I don't know how well it will work in the later game, but they've really got to secure some big kills and some big, a level lead at least to try and get the value out of the composition they picked. We see Spazzo goes in. He's on ETC. He's just blocking. A lot of damage was going out to Iceball, Hack, and John, but no real follow-up. Can't get the follow-up kills, and the seeds have been fallen. A good amount actually being picked up by both sides. Reality having the advantage. ETC goes in, does get the kill on Tyrael, but Tyrael just sort of going around trying to blow anyone up. It gets in his way.
Couldn't make up his mind there, Hack. He was just like, I want to hit all of you, and then he ended up hitting none of them. So it was a bit interesting. So the Vikings were soaking the whole time that the trading of the plants were going down. Reality does pick up the first Garden Terror. Going to be interesting to see. It looks like, Tyrael's going to go in it, Hack's going to go in it, and they're going to try group and do a push around it. But as we said, while that was all happening, the Vikings were soaking, but good play by Reality. While their Terror was on the last bit, they just left Greymane to finish it off, and then they rotated to sort of annoy YWP on theirs and pick up extra seeds, and that's how they really secured the first Terror.
And that's my trouble with the that Lost Vikings pick, is that while they did get the experience, they've kept themselves in the game.
Sheshi once again getting hooked. He looks like he could be in trouble, but unfortunately there was no follow-up there. He's just got to be careful, Sheshi. His own Valley, he's so squishy, he can't afford to get hooked, because later on it's just going to be instantly, he's just going to instantly fall.
Right, in the bottom lane, we do see one of the Vikings fall again. Doesn't mean much, but that's the experience they're lost in that lane now for the for YWP and that WYP, and that's their big play. That's their big goings on in this match. Just talking about Valor being able to escape, there's actually a pretty good selection of heroes on WYP that can escape in these situations. Obviously, Li Ming can teleport, Valor can vault out of the way, ETC can power slide if he gets caught. So they've actually got quite a good team in the escape sense against the hooks.
And that's what I said. So they learned from their mistakes on the first game, and they picked Chance that they were more comfortable with.
Oh, look, there's
and
big rotation up to the top lane.
On Katori.
Yeah, it looks to be downfall for Tassadar. Tassadar actually nice little dodging there, but it's not going to be enough. Just so far forward. Oh, actually does manage to pull away in front, but no way is it enough as an arrow from Valor shoots into his back.
I think we saw Katori being a little bit overconfident in Tassadar's bag of escape tricks, but as we said, if he's a sitting duck and he's that far forward, there's nothing he can do to escape, unfortunately. And then there's a big push going on now. Both teams securing all the Mercams that they can on their side, and big pushes going on. I mean, it looks like Hack as well. They're trying to pick up. So it's good to see YWP. They're positioning very well. They're making sure that they're sort of in the middle of the thoroughfares, but they're not breaking out of stealth that the bushes provide. So they're kind of getting the intel. Okay, Hack's rotating to top. All right, let's go down bot. So they're getting a good intel between the team now, and they're not putting themselves at unnecessary risk.
All right, Greymane being sectioned off. ETC power sliding in, but he does use his engage to back out of it. Hooks in by Icebolt to save him, and then now they turn around on ETC. ETC's on low health. They're following up. Katori goes in, throws a bit of damage, but I don't think it's really going to turn into anything. No, it does! The hook actually goes in, gets the Valor. Vanilla folds up with the Greymane, takes her out. And now this is detrimental here. The next time the hook is available from Stitches, it's another kill. Oldalize gets pulled in Brightwing, and he's taken out again. ETC, Eric, and what was it, Li Ming just sitting there, just not being able to do anything. Trying to force a kill just proved to be really detrimental for the team. And in return, 2 heroes got taken out.
That's exactly what I was worried about. I just said, Vala, she just can't afford to get hooked. She's just way too squishy. And with Greymane around, as we saw, she just instantly got popped. So she needs to... I know that she has an escape, but she's just not being able to use it. She's just not living long enough. So she shouldn't be getting hooked in the first place. So just needs to be a little bit more wary of Icebold's hooks. And we also saw the helping hand go out too, as well, for the rescue. We know Stitches had that change, and it's good to see Icebold's aware of it. So we might be seeing him pulling more of his friends towards safety in teamfights going forward. Disco?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was just great communication by Stitches and Greymane before. Greymane straight onto it when the hook comes in. ETC taking a lot of damage, about to be punished. Power slides back in. Mosh Pit! It's actually a huge Mosh Pit. Sanctification comes out from Tyrael. ETC is removed regardless. Brightwing taken out as well, getting no real value because that Sanctification is just a good play against the Mosh Pit trick. Fuckle's in a little bit of an issue here. He does have to back away. It doesn't matter because Hack will just smite him regardless.
That was massive play by the ETC. That was an amazing mosh pit. He caught quite a few members of the team. But like you said, he didn't catch to one that mattered. Tyrael with the Sanctification, it was just nullifying his ult. Once they sort of went around,
it's amazing how, just literally a millimeter. Like, just a little bit off.
Just a sliver.
And just couldn't...
Otherwise, it would have been a totally different team fight we would have seen. Totally different.
It would have been a good opportunity for WYP to really start making their mark in this game. They've got the Lost Vikings experience of being soaked, and they've got a ton of experience, but you're just starting to see now that the game's slowly being pushed out of their favour. They didn't quite get all those hero kills they really needed at the start of the game. They didn't quite manage to pull ahead and lead, and now they're starting to suffer this late game when reality just we'll just travel around now and we'll start to get our own kills, take our own fights.
And also reality, they're very aware of getting all the seeds once it's nighttime in the seed spawn. So they've got another terror as well, because we can see Greymane's quite good. He just can solo sort of the last bits of it. He gets their team to help him, and then he just sort of is left alone to finish it off. And it's that's what you want essentially the Vikings to be able to do. But unfortunately, they're not strong enough to do that. So they just have to sort of soak and then do the best that they can do.
Alright, so they have rotated down, trying to deal with this Garden Terror now. One of the Vikings, a little bit of trouble, but he does back off. But look at this, there's reality rotating in now to really support this Garden Terror. There's 2 level difference, talent lead. They can actually get heaps done here. A lot of damage going onto the Garden Terror, but they are going to get down those towers and walls, and that just means they can come back a little bit later to finish the job, making this bottom lane right now a win. It's almost a win condition. A little bit more work, and that bottom lane is a path straight to the core.
But they do have the Vikings stemming the flow, and he can play aggressive. He did take play again, so I think we'll be seeing the Vikings more aggressive in trying to make sure he's getting the XP for the team. Looks like the reality's trying to retreat now, so Stitches either sort of popped Putrid Bile a bit early, or he just wanted to discourage any sort of fights going on. See a Viking getting caught out there. I'm not sure if he's getting intel or if he just wasn't looking. Poor Baylog just falls right there. I'm not sure if we want YWP to engage here. It could be quite risky for them.
Well, look, the ETC is already taking a lot of damage. Had to power slide out of it. So does escape with his life. Oh, the Ice Bowl tries to get a nice little hook there. Just missing Valor. There could have been a very dangerous situation for ETC actually going outside his gate. They're just going to play very safe here and just back up. They can't stand too far forward. There's enough over-the-wall damage that we can see come out from reality now that can punish anyone just being too far forward. The wall's down. Force wall from Tastar's gone out. No big follow-up potential. Moshpit goes out. Immediately has been cancelled. And we're just going to see ETC fall now, just going to a fight he should not have taken. Sanctification is used. The follow-up, trying to get in more members. Brightwing's down. Valor's down. We see Li Ming running for her life back to the safety of a tower. And we just see reality now back out go, are they going to be able to get the keep, or they just want to play a little bit safe? And, I think they could have actually kept pushing this a little bit, to be honest. But they're choosing...
think they could have. But maybe they're trying to deal with the Vikings here and just make sure that he can't get any of that crucial XP. But I agree with you. I think that they could have afforded to take the keep and then rotate to deal with the Vikings, but maybe they're just prepping for the nighttime because they knew it was going to come soon.
Yeah, that's it. And playing safe.
They don't want to throw, exactly. They just want to play safe and make sure that no throws happen. Like, basically, just make sure that YWP doesn't have, I guess, the means to sort of come back. They're just taking it easy. And with Valor, I mean, she took Strafe and she's gone the auto attack build, but Tyrael has taken Imposing Will. So basically, if Valor hits Tyrael, it means that her attack speed and movement speed will be slowed by 50%, essentially making the auto attack build useless. So she's got to be really mindful of that, and that's why I said I wasn't sure if that would have been the build I would have gone this game. But we'll just wait and see if she can sort of lay there and just sort of get into the squishies and assassinate them. But the auto attack build is really good for taking down the plant terror.
Yeah, I mean that's the big advantage she's given herself, is that the garden terror, she can do a lot of damage to it just because of her increased attack speed. But against the actual team
really
itself, reality, I'm not sure if it's really paying off for her.
Another Viking falling in the middle lane to Greymane, but the other one gets away, so just Bearlog falling there. Nothing too interesting going on. So it looks like bot lane's going to be the choice that they sort of position now, and it's going to be... I mean, what can they really do here, Disco?
So they've got the garden terror and they're using it very heavily as a defense mechanism right now. They've still got a minute timer on it, but they're losing... I mean, they're losing out in trying to push down a structure or something like that. I mean, they're fighting... The blue team reality is fighting them now at the moment. So you may as well be, as a Garden Terror, fighting near their base, getting some structures down, and then getting some hits around the place. So delaying so long with the Garden Terror to get to where it is now, I think they've lost a little bit of value out of that, a little bit of potential. And it's about to fall. Now, it's only a Viking, so it doesn't matter. If Eric comes out of it and dies, who cares at the moment? But I think they could have done a lot more with that. How they get back into this game? Well, they're only level down, so they're just going to play really safe. Back away from this fight, don't engage into it, regroup at the base defenses, and take out this Garden Terror.
Yeah, Vikings have really been making sure that they don't get left too far behind in XP. But now the fight's being brought to them. Spazzo falls instantly. He got trapped out there. There wasn't much he could do. There's two members of YWP who've been polymorphed. They're trying to get away. They're scrambling, but luckily the polymorph from the Terror misses.
But they're in such a bad situation right now. ETC's gone, Val's gone. It's up to Li Ming, Brightwing, and whatever Vikings are currently around. I don't think they're going to be able to put a really good defense here at all. They will lose the keep. There's still 40 seconds left on this Garden Terror. Iceball's kind of looking at this like, gee, what do I do? I've still got heaps of time on this. And he's probably going to be able to get this keep down as well in the bottom lane. Now, backs out, playing a little bit safe, concerned about getting picked off by our respawners.
Well, because he knows if he falls, and all the sort of frontlining goes to Tyrael if they sort of get a fight brought to them. But as you said, they're just playing careful. There's no need to be risky if you don't have to.
And any kills right now is way more advantageous for WYP, because they will get more experience because of the level deficit. So yeah, safe plays, win the game safe. There's no reason to do something spectacular and then it failed. Because hey, how much fun would we be talking about how Stitches messed up inside the enemy's keep?
Exactly right. And both teams are securing their respective mercenary camps. Another fight going out. It looks Iceball's getting the grab. He lands it on Pukul. Greymane instantly goes down and Li Ming's taken down. Altai is in a lot of trouble. Brightwing also falls. Spazzo now. He looks like he's trying to get away. Power slides out. Is it enough? Luckily, he retreated to the forwards. Vanilla couldn't follow, but they're going to... Looks like they're just going to go for the core now, Disco. There's no need that they can't there's two members down.
Yeah, they've got two heroes down. They've got the Sanctification. Look at that. Popped on the core, so they can just continue to wail on it. Even if they don't get it, it's already down... it's going to be down to about 60% when they're finished behind this. So they've got a lot of pressure on it. Having said that, Katori, Hack, Vanilla, they're going hard at the core, and this game is easily going in Reality's favour. This series taken out 2-0.
Well, that was well played by both teams. I really was proud of YWP for stepping up their game this time, and just like they made sure that they had heroes with escapes, they made sure that they weren't getting too far behind on the levels, and they got some really good kills. And on sort of Reality when they were doing rotations, so it was really good to see the improvements that they made, and it was well played by both teams. And now we want to pass it over to Skimmy and... Oh, no, it looks like they're on break.
That's all right, we'll just wait for them to get back. It's I mean, it's the Vikings on that map. They did what they need to do, right? If you look at the XP contribution, they're at 25k. That's heaps. It really helped to keep, or to at least give, WYP a chance to stay in the match. The trouble I find with the Lost Vikings, and you sort of saw it then, is that once the XP game is over and you're on that late stage of the game, they add very little value to the rest of the team fight. They have very small impact, or it's very hard to get impact from them. And we just saw that. And Reality just played really well. They knew, okay, start of the game, we're going to have Vikings, get in each lane, play safe. They got a couple of kills off. WYP got some kills off, some very smart rotations, body blocks. And so I think there was a little bit of, let's say, disrespect towards their comp before that.
Yeah.
But then once they respected it, they stayed back. They went, right, no, don't overextend. We can just keep up with experience. They got down to the first Terror. They rotated down and grabbed it. So.
Yeah, it was just well executed, well played. And exactly like you said, with the Lost Vikings, I mean, yeah, once late game sort of kicks in and sort of experience is mattering less and less, sort of once you hit sort of that 20 range and experience starts mattering less and less, it sort of can become a dead weight unless they're sort of forcing the enemy team to spread out and chase them and be a nuisance, but we weren't seeing much of that happening. You know it's a bad time when you see the three Vikings together having to fight together because there's just no way they can stay out in their lanes. That's when you know you're in a bit of trouble with them.
That's it. So Reality will advance into the next round. And Starving and Skimmy boys, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys.
Sounded like a good game from what I heard from the tail ends of things. Reality seemed to be the hot favourites for that one.
They just played really well. Like Reality knew how to respond to the Vikings. I remember you saying before that when the Vikings were first released, they were not a powerhouse, but no one knew sort of how to play against them. Now, however, it's pretty. They knew how they knew how to respond. They just had to be careful of the rotations. Once they were down packed with that, everything else was easy.